Subscribe to Drama YT and press the bell icon to get the latest videos first of the all. Hey guys, how are you? It's K2 and welcome back to Drama YT. You know what? I was always a K-drama guy who was so much into it. And I still am, but when I started this YouTube channel, something changed. I started to watch more genres in Chinese dramas, and now after watching so many C-dramas from the past 2 to 3 years, I am in a position to have my viewpoint regarding certain C-dramas. So in this video, I am ranking my top 25 Chinese dramas of this year, which is obviously 2021, according to me, as I am being biased towards some of my favorite C-dramas. If you guys may don't agree with certain C-dramas ranked lower or higher, then the fault is in yours. Sarcasm aside, check the description box for more information and do comment below that which C-drama list you want to watch next. Now give this video a like and let's get to it. Number 25. Flourish in Time. Childhood friends Zhang Haiyu and Liu Miao grew up like brother and sister, always having each other's back. He helps her with the schoolwork and she protects him from being bullied for his disability. As Liu Miao enters high school and makes new friends, she gradually realizes that her feelings for Zhang Haiyu go beyond that of his siblings. She chases a rival, bring upon a strong sense of unease for Zhang Haiyu. Soon enough, the brother and sisterly love evolves into young love. Number 24. Miss Crow with Mr. Lizard. Gu Xuan is a passion-filled, vibrant young man with his whole life ahead of him, until his life is turned upside down by a sudden traffic accident. He suffers life-threatening injuries to his heart and surgeons are able to save him only by giving him an emergency heart transplant. But when he recovers, he discovers that he is no longer allowed to perform most of the form of exercises. Worse still, the doctors warn him that experiencing strong emotions could also end his life prematurely. He tries to return to the normal life, but the changes he must make to his lifestyle take all the fizz out of his existence. He carefully avoids anything that could raise his heart rate, even if doing so turns him into a shadow of his former self. Things get another turn, however, when a woman named Jiang Xiaoning comes to work at the company he and his friend has set up. Jiang Xiaoning's own backstory is also tinged with sadness. She was orphaned at an early age. Regardless, she is a vertical font of positivity. Little by little, that positivity starts to rub off on Gu Xuan, but could this bond ever turn romantic in spite of his condition? Number 23. Stand By Me. In the Tang Dynasty era China, in the 9th century CE, the emperor is locked in a deadly power struggle with a group of formidable eunuchs who wield enormous power at court. He decides to strike back by ordering the death of the ringleader Xu Shiliang, but the mission is botched. The eunuchs take revenge by ordering the death of the emperor's loyal first minister along with his entire family. But his twin daughters, later to be known as Cheng Ryuyun and Xu Yanzi, escape. The eunuchs now seize yet more power over the royal court, rendering the emperor as a mere puppet. But the minister's two daughters have evaded detection and move off toward very different fates. Yanzi becomes part of Xu Shiliang's household and is secretly half-bent on revenge. But her sister, Ryuyun, has taken the other side, joining a group of military professionals that is enlisted by the new young Emperor Lian. The emperor is determined to rid the palace of a scourge of the eunuchs once and for all, and Ryuyun places her life to help him do that, even if it means throwing herself in the path of danger. The duo starts to form a romantic bond as they get to know one another. But will the emperor still trust her if he discovers her true identity and her connection to his mortal foe? Number 22. My Heroic Husband. A modern businessman travels back to ancient times. He lands in the body of a man about to be married as a matrilocal husband in a family of cloth merchants. He then begins incorporating modern methods and ideas to help his friends and battle corrupt local businesses. Ultimately, he becomes involved in the affairs of the country. Number 21. A Girl Like Me. The beautiful Baroness, Duchess, Princess, she gets promoted a lot. Banhua has skirted martial bliss 3 times. Her straight-shooting manner and explosive temper ensured that each relationship ended in a disaster for the potential grooms. Despite her awful reputation, she is quite well-meaning and thoughtful deep down. Of late, Her dreams have been forecasting danger around every corner. She has interpreted them quickly in order to keep her family safe and to protect those around her. Her life changes forever when she meets Count Rongxia, a young gentleman scholar whose family suffered a tragic fate. Rongxia is on the hunt for answers regarding the past, namely the true identity of those responsible for his family's demise, a secret long kept from him. A friendship is formed with Banhua, determined to help Rongxia learn the truth. As the alliance deepens, could this be a case of fourth time lucky for Banhua? Number 20. My Fated Boy. When Lin Yang was a young girl growing up in the countryside, she formed a close friendship with a boy from the neighborhood named Lu Zhengan. Despite the fact that she was 7 years his senior, their bond was close, and they even played the imagination games whereby they exchanged rings and married. Eventually, life pulled them in different directions and they lost touch with one another. Now aged 31, Lin Yang is working in an office job and living in rented accommodation. Life hasn't gone quite as she would have hoped, but she muddles through her daily life. But one day, her past memories come flooding back to her when Lu Zhengan, now 24, turns up on the scene. He has been studying abroad and has just been graduated. Intent on rekindling their friendship and sparking a romance between them, he inserts himself back in her life. But try as he might, Lin Yang still sees him as the cute little kid from the neighborhood that he once was, a kind of a younger brother. He wants to convince her that his feelings are real, however, and will do his utmost to win her heart. Number 19. The Sword and the Brocade. Set during the Ming Dynasty, the story revolves around the romance between General Shu Lingyi and the concubine's daughter Xi Yinyang, that starts from an arranged marriage. Despite being born with a low status, Xi Yinyang is extremely assertive and believes that a woman's vision should not be limited to the household. She hopes to rely on her embroidery skills as a ticket to freedom. However, the once esteemed Luo family is in a state of decline. Hoping to save the clan through a marriage alliance, Xi Yinyang is selected to become the wife of Yongping Duke and Great General Su Lingyi. Things were not easy for her due to the Su family's biases towards her. Nonetheless, she manages to win over their trust through her optimism and sincerity. Su Lingyi also becomes attracted to her various beautiful qualities, such that husband and wife manage to find love after marriage. Through Su Lingyi's support, Xi Yinyang opens Xianling Pavilion to have her own embroidery workshop. Meanwhile, Shu Lingyi experiences many setbacks as he tries to protect his homeland and improve the livelihood of the people by supporting the lifting of a maritime ban as they face a crisis that could spell the end for the Shu family. Su Lingyi and Xi Yinyang continue to support each other through their thick and thin times. Number 18. Go Squid to DT Appledog's time. Through his hard work and talent, Wu Bai managed to become the youngest star player of the national robot competition. He formed a team and entered the final round of the competition. On the same stage with him is Yexing, the person who initiated him into his passion. Both are determined to promote the popularization and application of technological robots in the younger generation group through the robot competition, which will accelerate the speed of the country's rejuvenation of science and technology. As competitors, Wu Bai's persistent and extraordinary talent attracts Yexing, while Yexing's passion toward her job, persistence in chasing her dreams, and outstanding tactics also earned Wu Bai's respect. The two of them supported each other through the competition and lead their respective team to the victory. Number 17. Don't Disturb My Study. 28-year-old Nan Xiangwan is an educationist who wakes up in her senior year of high school. She finds herself in the same class with a group of students who are all special students. Nan Xiangwan retraces her path of the entrance examination and gradually reversing one's prejudice in the process of sprinting toward her dream university. Number 16. Unforgettable Love. The drama revolves around He Xiaoyan, CEO of Heishi Group, and Xin Yue, a child psychologist. It tells the story of a rational and indifferent man and a soft, optimistic, considerate, and a meticulous psychologist whose relationship develops from acquaintance to love. Number 15. Killer and Healer. A story that follows two men who are polar opposites. One kills while the other heals. One is a violent cop and the other is a compassionate doctor. Together they support and redeem each other during troubled times. Jiang Yulio hits the Jiangqing police station and appears neither good nor evil. Yet smugglers tremble at the thought of him. While investigating an opium case in Hong Kong, Yulo encounters Yuzi, who learns that Yulo suffers from bipolar disorder. Although initially reluctant to undergo treatment, Yulo eventually opens up to Yuzi. Despite their differing values, they slowly become close friends. At this time, the secrets from the past start to bubble to the surface. Number 14. The Rebel Princess. Princess Wang Xuan is a woman who is no less than any man. She intends to marry her childhood sweetheart, the third crown prince. Soon this couple will fall victim to the prophecy that states to acquire thee is to obtain the world. The imperial family has become rotten to the core as evidenced by their lavish spending with little regard for the welfare of the people. Wang Xian's father, the emperor, has found himself embroiled in court matters and is struggling to maintain power. In a political maneuver, he decrees that the princess will wed Xiaoxi, who comes from a humble background but has a strong desire to bring peace and prosperity to the nation. Together, they form an alliance to save their homeland. In time, the two will fall in love, for the princess is deeply moved and inspired by her husband's noble quest to create a better life for all. But their lives will be far from easy, as on their wedding night, Xiaoxi is forced to leave the capital. Ashamed and discouraged, Wang Xuan is then kidnapped by the Helen prince, who is enacting his revenge upon Xiaoxi. Fortunately, the crisis becomes a blessing in disguise for the couple. However, they are surrounded by the forces that threaten to destroy them and their ideals. The Wang and Shi clans are vying for power, the Empress Dowager schemes to separate them, the military has committed treasonous acts, and the Helen clan has now raised its flags in rebellion. Wang Xuan herself leads the army in order to defend the last stronghold in hopes that Xiaoxi can arrive in time with reinforcements. She will valiantly protect her husband as she delivers him to safety. Number 13. Moonlight. After graduating university with a major in financing, Choli successfully enters her dream company, Yuanwei Publishing House. However, a challenging path lies ahead of her when she finds out that the publishing industry at this time has undergone huge changes. There she meets author Zhua Xuan, who is said to be gentle as a jade when he is really not. The two are immediately at odds, with Zhua Xuan later discovering that Julie is in fact his online friend, Monkey. And then the fun of the drama begins. Number 12. Douluo Continent. One of my favorite anime of all time is Soul Land. And if you guys have not watched that anime, I will recommend you to watch that anime first. Then you could watch or even consider to watch this drama. Having lost his mother at a very young age, Tangsun grew up relying on his father just as much as his father relied upon him. Meticulous and mature from his age, with extraordinary talent and wit, he was sent to Nording Academy at the age of 16 to begin pursuing his dream of becoming a great soul master. There, under the tutelage of Yu Xiaogang, he befriends an orphan by the name of Xiao, and together they begin the long and difficult journey of cultivation. As time passes, the two friends draw ever closer, eventually swearing to look out for each other as siblings for life. As their power and connection grow, Ye Xiaogang realizes that they need more guidance that he can provide. Sending the pair to the Shrek Academy, Tangshan and Xiao join 5 other prodigies from various academies in their journey of cultivation. Strong in their power, the 7 students become known throughout the land as the Shrek 7 Devils. When their fame ever growing, the talents of 7 are eventually noticed by a few very prominent nobles who invite them to continue their cultivation at the esteemed Tiando Royal Academy. Not long after accepting the invitation, the 7 Devils find themselves caught up in an imperial struggle for power. At the same time, Tangsun uncovers a long hidden secret about his mother's death, suddenly facing battles on many fronts. Tangshan finds himself forced to fight, not only to protect those he loves, but to bring honor to his sect, save his country, and complete his quest to become the greatest soul master of all time. Number 11. The Imperial Coroner. Young girl Chuchu came from a family of coroners. She meets Prince Xiaojinyu, a dignified prince in charge of criminal lawsuit, who appeared weak and sickly. Prince Xiao lacks reliable manpower to investigate case, while Chuchu lacks people to set up, take charge and be a man. Together they manage to unravel a shocking case that has dragged on for 18 years. After solving the case, she won the Imperial's approval and is finally certified as the Imperial Coroner, fulfilling her life goal. Number 10. Love Scenery. Liang Chen is devoted to bringing good music works to the listeners, expressing the idea of being kind, real, and perfect. Losing, on the other hand, loves computer and big data research. He is highly recognized in academic field through studying complicated human behavior and then psychology, thus influencing the classmates around by his solid specialty literacy. They are strangers at first but then brought together by big data and they become closer in the journey of pursuing their dreams. Number 9. Crush. Sangwoo-yan, a college senior, dreams of becoming a broadcaster. She works as an assistant at a radio station and likes a mysterious songwriter with the name Izin. She fell in love at first sight after a chance meeting with Shun Yan-xian and later discovers that he is visually impaired. Layer by layer, Shang-Woo-yan peels off Shun Yan-xian's elusive, arrogant, and indifferent self due to his broken family. She then learns that he was in fact the talented Izin. Their interactions lead to a sweeping romance, but the couple find themselves in a tug of war between their hard-earned happiness and a fear of loss. Mounting pressure eventually leads to a breakup. 3 years later, the two people who have gone down different paths meet again and their love quickly rekindled. Number 8. The Day of Becoming You. The leader of a boy band and entertainment reporter are forced into many outrageous situations after they switched bodies. Zhang Yi is a big star in the entertainment industry. He is the cold and distant leader of a popular boy band, but in reality, he is simply not good at expressing himself ever since his parents divorced when he was young. Meanwhile, Yu Shengsheng has become an entertainment reporter who keeps running up against a stone wall at work. Their lives were not meant to intersect, but an accident results in the two exchanging bodies on their birthday, which happens to fall on the same day. The sudden change catches them off guard, and with only each other to turn to for support in the days and nights that followed, Zhang Yi and Yu Shengsheng gradually fall in love. Number 7. My Little Happiness. Kongrong has long dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but her mother is absolutely determined to see her daughter study finance abroad. Hoping that her daughter will successfully settle down somewhere overseas, Kongrong's mother won't take a no for an answer. Unable to convince her mother to let her pursue her dreams, Kongrong has no choice but to do as her mother wishes, or does she? After successfully convincing her mother that she has set off for distant lands, Kongrong secretly returns home to begin work as a legal intern. Taking on her first case, Kongrong comes face to face with her childhood friend, Wen Shaoxing. Now a surgeon, Shaoxing isn't just Kongrong's client, he is also her landlord and next door neighbor. Tied together by the ever-tightening strings of fate, Kongrong and Shaoxing find themselves drawing closer despite their best efforts. Engaged in a never-ending battle of wits, the childhood friends may fight against the ties that bind them, but how long will they be able to resist the inevitable? Number 6. Ancient Love Poetry. It follows Sango, once a leader of the Four Immortals, who falls into a deep sleep after sacrificing herself in a trial that lasted 60,000 years. Sango wakes up many years later, and memories of what happened 300 years ago were completely wiped. But her former lover, Baizoe, never forget about her. Sacrificing his reincarnation for her life, he waited for her for 60,000 years. Even when his soul disappears, Sango will wait for him forever. Number 5. Word of Honor. Zhao Jishu, the disillusioned leader of a Royal Praetorian Secret Service, takes drastic measures to leave his former life behind and wanders the pugilistic world. He unexpectedly gets involved in a conspiracy after he steps in to save a young boy. There he also meets the mysterious Wen Kexing, the master of the Ghost Valley. They become bosom friends through a series of adventures involving a legendary treasure that is rumored to give its owner ultimate power over the pugilistic world. Number 4. You Are My Glory. A story that follows an aerospace engineer Yuto and the shining star Xiao Xingxing. A decision to start gaming in order to save her endorsement deal brings her face to face with an old crush. As they grow closer, the two forge ahead to become each other's glory. Being a well-known celebrity, Xiao Xingxing has to keep up appearances to maintain her multifaceted image. Alas, one starts to crack when someone leaks a video of her playing an online game and being just terrible at it, which is completely inconsistent with the image she has created for herself as the game's ambassador. Thus, she joins a gaming competition to prove her skills and to prevent herself from losing her endorsements. Xiao Jingxing decides to use all her free times towards improving her game, and her decision leads to reconnect with her old high school classmate Yuto, whom she once had a crush on. He was a legend at their school, outstanding in everything that he does, while Xiao Jingxing was just your average girl. Yuto has gone on to become an aerospace engineer who is also an expert gamer. It seems that the online game has brought them together once more, so she asks him to become her gaming coach. Number 3. You Are My Hero. As a new resident at the bustling Metropolitan Hospital, Mika's life is far from boring. With a steady stream of patients to see and a variety of training exercises to complete, Mika has little time for anything other than her work. But she doesn't mind. The chance to help people and save lives is all she has ever wanted, and she is all happy that she has finally found a way to make the dream of her become true. Ever want to volunteer when a new opportunity to help other arises? Mika joins a joint emergency rescue training exercise between the hospital and the police SWAT team, a decision that will change her life forever. When a deadly earthquake shakes the very foundations of the world, Mika is a part of the team ordered to the epicenter of the quake to help with rescue operations, joined by a team of military personnel including Singh Kelly, a special ops agent who first met Mika through a series of misunderstandings that left them both with a less than favorable impression of each other. Mika and her medical team set out on a mission fraught with danger. Despite their initial misgivings, Singeli and Mika have no choice but to put aside their differences to help those hit hardest by the recent earthquake. Working side by side, their feeling towards each other actually begin to soften as they observe how tirelessly each works to save lives. When the nation in which they are working is thrown into turmoil, Mika and the rest of the medical team find themselves in a very real danger. Putting his life on the line, Singeli is determined to come to their rescue. But will he be able to get to them in time? Number 2. The Long Ballad. The year is 626 CE and the realm and its political center Chang'an are second to its core by the Xuanwu Gate incident, a successful palace coup to take charge of the Tang dynasty. A scheming prince leads the blood coup and kills the family of Li Chang'e during the raid, although she manages to escape. Now the prince has placed himself on the imperial throne and rules as Emperor Taizong. Li Chang'e has her mind firmly set on revenge and musters a powerful army intent on overthrowing the new emperor. But her plans are thrown into disarray when she suffers an unexpected defeat against the armies of Eastern Turki Khanate. The victorious general Asinasun decides to keep her in his service, making her his military strategist as he looks to pursue his own military goals. The duo forms a formidable military partnership, and over time, she finds herself falling for her captor, and he also starts developing feelings for her. Number 1. Falling into your smile. Student Tong Yao makes two vows to never be in a relationship with someone in the same field and to make up for the Chinese League of Legends. When Tong Yao earns her spot as the first formal female player in the China's professional league, she catches the attention of an elite team captain. Facing doubts and inconveniences, she meets each challenge with her own persistence and her teammates' support. After much effort, what will become of her vows? Will she stand on the world stage to make up for the 6 years of regret? Will she avoid a romantic entanglement within the e-sport world? So that was it guys, the video ends here. I hope you have liked this video. If you have watched the video till here, give this video a like and subscribe to Drama YT. And yet you guys have not followed me on the Instagram handle, which is right in front of you. It is called dramayt.k2. Follow me there as well. And I will see you later as always. Your K2. Love, peace and hugs. It's been a pleasure.